I'm just saying, I don't feel like doing this no more. I mean, I shouldn't put it that way. It's not that I don't feel like doing this no more. I don't feel like doing this today. And it's probably that I really don't feel like doing this no more. I mean, I like the job. I mean, do I like the job? Do I like the job? I don't hate it. I like the career. I like the position. I don't like doing the job probably. But it's definitely something. It's definitely something going on where I'm really not giving a damn. I take that back. I do give a damn. That's not true at all. See, that's not true. I do give a damn. Because if I didn't give a damn, I'd just be gone. Now, you could say, well, you might not be gone. You might not give a damn, but you can't leave. See, that's a consideration. But it kind of comes down to also that if somebody was to hit me up or somebody was to say this or say that, I really wouldn't care. I really don't care. At least right now. At least probably even more than right now. Let's just be honest. What is this? See, this just came on. This just happened to pop on, whatever. I hit the wrong thing or the right thing. No unscheduled dances, no boom boxes, and no live bands. They're all illegal. So, like right now, I'm gonna probably punch in late. I'm not gonna punch in late. I'm gonna punch in probably not gonna go available too late, and I don't care. I mean, I was thinking today too. If they were to fire me, I probably wouldn't care. But that's not the right way to put it. That is definitely not the right way to put it. Because it's not true. It's just like, I don't feel like doing this no more. But the alternative is that what do I want to do? What would I end up doing if I call off today? I mean, that's what I would. What happens if I call off? Just lay around and do nothing. That's what you do. Yeah, I'm just like, whatever. I'm just like, whatever. I think it really comes down to it. I'm not ready to make a commitment to working and not working. Either way. I think fail. See? I want that to stay. But it's going to fall. I don't want it to fall, but it falls. Why does it fall? Maybe I can put it a different way. Like I said, I don't want to disrespect the job. I don't want to dog out the position. You know, if I'm here getting paid, there's a level of integrity that I want to maintain because of the contract between me and the job. And if it gets to the point where I just don't want to do this no more, I can't do this no more, I'll, bow out. One thing I will not do is lie. You ask me a question straight up, what about this, what about this? I'm going to tell you, I didn't feel like working, so I didn't do it. I remember one time I was working for the Army Corps of Engineers and I was done. I was just done. And she asked me, well, Jeffrey, did you do this? I smiled, very polite, said, no, I didn't do it. I'm ready to go. I mean, I just let people know I'm ready to go. I'm just ready to go. No hard feelings. I just can't do this no more because, I think because I put the performance on, they know I can work well. They know I work good. They know, I do good work. But when it came to time where I just couldn't, my heart wasn't in it. They probably could see that I sincerely was done. And I asked them to lay me off, and they did. I got unemployment. And it just so happens, I think it was right before the recession. So things got a little fun, if you want to put it that way. If you want to put it that way. See, I try to put this on the inside. Now I'm going to take this mic flip it over. See if I flip it over and put it like this. See how it falls down? But if I put it on the side, it picks up differently. But so the best way for me to do is just to wear the microphone, but I don't feel like wearing it. I don't feel like walking around wired up all day long. But then there's some magnets that I could put here. It might make it work different. Let's try that. Okay, where's things microphones over there? Can you pick me up? Where's the microphone at? Is this it? Yeah, see, this is magnet. Can you see it? And this panel here is magnetized. So it may give me a different clip-on experience. And I went to pull these two magnets apart. These two magnets right here was connected together. I had to use two hands. That's how strong these magnets are. I had to like use two hands to get them off. I was like, oh my God, okay, now, okay. So I'm gonna take this. Is this still on? Is this still on? I think it is. Take this, put it inside here, like that, and then put the magnet on it. Ooh, that's tight too. Ooh, that might, how's that? Is that doing something? You can't even see the microphone? How's that? Is that working for you? And I got it turned down a little bit. I can turn it up. Is it like covering up? Is it making noise if I move? Is it being, I think it'll stay like that. This is comfortable. Okay. I had to go. I'm not even working yet. I'm supposed to be working. I'm supposed to be on the clock, and I'm not. I'm like 10 minutes past when I'm supposed to actually be active. Well, I punched in. I'm in the queue, but no, I'm not in the queue. I'm just not active. But for the most part, I'm acknowledged that I'm here. And, I could say it was updates, but I wouldn't. I just told you. I said I just didn't feel like doing it. They was asking me, boss says, well, Jeffery, you look like you, not just, sound like she was whining or anything or, put any tone on her delivery or anything. Jeffery, you look like you didn't. I didn't feel like it. I didn't feel like it. I did not feel like it. I just want to be exposed. I want to get this fixed. And if I want to get out, I don't know. I don't know. Okay, back. So now I did the video, and before I put the magnet in there and put it this way, the microphone the shirt fell, and the microphone actually ended up being pressed up against my chest. So you can actually hear my heartbeat. You can hear me all, can't hear me really talking. Almost like 8 to 10 minutes just lost, just and when I'm quiet, you can hear my heartbeat here. So that's kind of fun. So I stuck it in the my video editor, try to chop it up and see if I can make some out of it. Just to do something, just to be actually doing something other than work. I just, I mean, you know what I'm trying to say. Got to figure it out. Got to figure it out. See, I was just thinking, so if I stop working at 65, when I get my Medicare, but don't file for my retirement at the SSA until I'm 67 or something, a few years later, I'll get more money. See what I'm saying? I'll get more money, but I won't be working. I'll just file later and I'll pay out my pocket and get more. I got to figure out how that's going to work out. The balance is going to work out. Because you pay out of your own pocket to survive for a year or two, and then you file and get the higher income. You can file Social Security and you get the more money. But you have to have the money to live off of it yourself. And I kind of do. And if I, because of my 401k and my retirement, and I set it at 4% withdrawal, and that means the principal, I shouldn't dig into my principal so much. You definitely, some of that money is going to be coming out. You're going to be, spending some of your own money. There's no doubt about that. But the money you spend, you may get back in a higher payment from Social Security. As long as you stay, they say 4%, and then you should maintain your principal. So what you would gain during the year, you actually, quote unquote, spend to live on, and your principal should stay the same. And then you file it the higher the higher payout from Social Security at delayed at 67. But then I'm thinking of 5 years that I don't file, I don't have income. That'd be like, actually, it might be close to $500,000. Yeah, that might have an impact. That might have an impact if I don't, because that money's supposed to be contributed. It says this is what you get based on your annual income of this. And if I don't have that annual income of that, or the income would come from my money and maybe an account. I don't know. See what I'm saying? Maybe because I'm pulling from my 401k, that's income. And the Social Security would recognize that as income and count towards the, how much they pay me on delayed. Am I saying that right? I don't care if I'm not. I mean, I do care, but I don't. It's my shirt, microphone. Another microphone. I use the magnet. The magnet looks like it's working pretty good. Nope, it fell a little bit. Yeah, it looks like my only thing I'm gonna have to do is use the only choice I got to do is use the microphone. Use the cable microphone. Use the wired microphone. Which ain't so bad. Which ain't so bad. Oh, well. One of the lights, if you can see it, the light right up here, that light right there, one of the ceiling lights went out. I'm gonna have to replace it. Let's go buy another one. Probably, get my step stool, get up there, take it out. Probably need to change it. And so I'm using my overhead, like luminescent. I just don't feel like saying that word. I don't even think that's the word. Fluorescent light or whatever, LED light, whatever that I bought. Somehow I bought. I don't know why I bought it or how I got it. I just know I got it. This gives a little bit of different kind of brightness, and I'm kind of liking it. I didn't want to start using it to make videos and stuff because I didn't want to have extra lighting. I just wanted to have a natural lighting and have more of a natural feel to it. But I'm looking at the chroma key and how it looks with the background, and it's not so bad. No, see, since I'm working now that light is out, it's like right here, right where I'm working. I like it bright. I like high luminance. I like the high intensity light, whatever, real white light. So now for me to work, I like having big bright office lighting, big bright bathroom office lighting. So I'm using that while I work. And since I'm using that, did it fall again? It fell again, see? All right. All right, so I put the microphone on. I got tired of it falling down. I put the microphone down because it was falling down. I can feel it pressed up against my skin and probably not recording me, and I don't want to go through that. I'm just saying. This feels good. I mean, it gets to the point where you can't. It gets to the point where you can't fake it anymore. At least for me, I'm spoiled. I'm definitely spoiled. I'm not used to doing things I don't want to do. I'm just not used to that's the part of it. I'm just not used to doing things that. And I could picture people saying, "Man, you got to go to work. You ain't got no choice. You just got to." And it kind of reminds me of an Ohio mentality where you just got to do it. There's no discussion. I don't even know why you're discussing this. You got to do it. This is your responsibility. You got to do it. There is no not doing it. Whereas out here in California, you're almost taught in a way. You can do anything you want. There is no anything that you just have to do. And you kind of grow into that in a way where you realize, and then philosophically for me, I realized that, hey, there really is no anything that I have to do in life. There's nothing that you have to do. It's all open. And you philosophically, I mean, at the highest levels, not just, you don't have to go to work today. I'm talking about you don't have to believe this. This isn't true. This may or may not be true. This is not valid. There is no universal good or bad. You can do anything you want. There really are no rules. And then once you start thinking that way, and then you start thinking, you see things, people out there doing this, people out here doing that, not good or bad, not judging, but you can see what people not can get away with, but the scope of human options that you can just kind of basically do whatever you want. And there is no overall God or whatever, overall authority that's going to punish you. Well, not directly. I do believe there's things built into society and human interaction and the natural social instincts of us as a social group that will put pressures on certain kinds of behavior. And not like karma, but just the way things work. If it's just human beings have a way of put peer pressure intentionally or in unintentionally. Yeah, I don't feel like doing this. I don't feel like I ain't gonna say no more. I don't feel like doing it today. At least today. At the least today, I don't feel like doing it. Again, maybe it's my Tuesday. Maybe it's my terrible Tuesday where every Tuesday come around, I just don't. Wednesday, I go into work. So that's something that's kind of exciting and fun. And then Thursday is like almost Friday. So that's kind of, kind of fun. And then Friday is Friday. Friday is like one more day, damn it. One more day. So I just don't feel like doing it now. But I'm in the queue. I may or may not be holding on to this email for a long time, but I got it done. I did the work. I'm gonna pay attention to detail. I'm being a smart ass because as they tell us, it don't take no 15 minutes. That only 15 minutes. That ain't bad. That ain't bad. That ain't bad. 15 minutes. Now watch another email. Another email come up. I'll click it on. I'll look at it. I'll see what it is. I'll check and see what's going on. Looks like the job is taken care of. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. I'm working and talking to my niece and doing stuff, and I feel pretty good. I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad. Time is. I'm definitely taking my time. You could probably say I'm sandbagging, if that's the word. You could definitely say I'm sandbagging. I'm just taking it easy. I'm just kicking it. I'm just kicking. I'm doing my job, ish. I'm doing my job, ish. So so I'm gonna send this to. I ain't gonna tell you where I'm gonna send it. I don't want to give any information about what I'm doing on my job, and Yeah, talking to my niece about the difference in generational, um, just this difference between my generation, my mother's generation, and their generation, and the way they look at things and how they deal with things. Well, this thing is still on pause. I had this thing on pause for about, I was on the phone talking to a customer, one of the people who call and we talk and chat. We talked about retirement and politics. We talk about everything. Like I was on the phone forever. Let me see if I can see how long I was on the phone with her. She's from New York. I met her too in New York. When I went to New York, I was able to meet her. Me and her always talk and, talk politically, as you may want to say. Talk about things that were, outside of the ultra liberal and understanding about immigration and this and that and homelessness. And, uh-oh, what's going on here? What's going on here? What's unexpected error? Oh boy. All right. And she was telling me that she retiring in 2 months. I'm like, why are you calling worried about this stuff if you retiring in 2 months? I was like, why do you even care? I said, you done in 2 months. I said, you done in 2 months, so why are you even calling about this? I know I wouldn't care. Yeah. Okay, this is starting to act up. This is starting to act up. I don't know where that goes, but I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out one way or the other. You know one thing? Somehow I hooked up Link on Windows. Some reason, somehow I got Link hooked up. So I'm answering text messages on my phone. I mean on my computer, which is kind of cool. I have to admit, it's kind of cool. At first I didn't want to connect it to, but I went ahead and did somehow, whatever I did, and now it worked. It's kind of funny too, when I'm dogging it, if you can call it that, when I'm dogging it or whatever, I build up speed. I just relax. It's like I relax, I take a deep breath. And then I find myself gaining momentum. And the next thing I'm not going like full blown, work, but I'm taking calls and I'm handling things. Once I just take a breath, stop, relax and just say, I'm just gonna kick it. Not kick it, but I'm gonna, take it easy and not go at it so hard. I build up traction and I'm just knocking things out. And I'm like, you know, I find myself, doing X amount of tickets. And then I look at what the hell? And then I look at my weekly stats and I'm like, ooh, I did all those. I did all that. I did all that. I answered this many calls and sometimes I can see how many calls I answered versus how many other people answered. I'm like, whoa, I'm doing that much. Even though I think I'm not, I'm definitely not giving it my all. There's no doubt about that. I don't believe I give my all to anything, not even my own to my own self. I'm just gonna take it easy. Every now and then I'll go hard on something, but most of the time it's just like, And then I also realized that my me doing 70% is like other people doing 90. Even though I might be half-assed going at it, compared to other people, it's still a cut above. So, You just got everything's relative, everything's subjective. Well, maybe not. Maybe I didn't want to say subjective, but everything's relative. I think I'm dogging it or whatever. Not putting in my full, blah blah blah. Could be just enough to, you know, be better than most people. I mean, what can you say? What can you say? Is this a request or is this an incident? ITIL 4, the standards in which people conduct business and the processes of production and maintenance and support and the words you use and everything. This is a request. I'm gonna set this up as a request. I'm gonna call it a request. And who am I gonna send it to? Good question. Who am I gonna send it to? Good question. That's the fun part we have to describe. Why did I do that again? What is going on? What is going on? It's a template for one of our responses, and it starts off hi. It says insert first name, comma. I wipe that out. I just put greetings, comma. And then at the bottom it says best regard. I delete that. That's not me. That's not who I am. And I don't want to be represented like that. That might be a little bit drastic way to say it, but it's mostly true. I was just thinking, my niece's generation, how they were brought up and what they went through and the way they see each other and how, they feel about each other and interactions and just the way, we came up and just different. So I even Googled it about, Gen Z, and they think basically it's social media. Basically, they say it's social media has something to do with it. They put a lot of it on social media, and I get it. I get it. Did I do that right? I don't think I did that right. Did I do that right? Okay, it's done. All right, thank you. All right, so suck my toe all the way to Mexico. And when you get there, do my landscaping. When you get there, grab your cousin and do my landscaping. Blah blah. Blah blah. I probably didn't have to say that, did I? I probably could have got away without saying that at all.